Good to hear your voice, Reed.
Thanks. It's good to be here. Glad it all worked out.
Yeah, you're sounding good to me.
Great.
All right, there's the music.
Sweet. We're going right into it. No intro needed.
no intro needed. We're gonna do the intros as we move along. We fooled around with Skype long enough. Larry's feeling surly because his hockey team lost tonight.
Badly.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close.
It wasn't close, but they never lose in Smashville. I'm getting some real static.
What was the score? I feel like hockey is kind of like soccer. There's not a lot of disparity between the goals.
There was some tonight.
Oh, there was today.
Ouch.
Hi, and welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic. I'm Larry.
I'm James.
And we're joined tonight with a very special episode. Special guest host with us tonight, Reed Olson.
Hey, guys.
Thank you for being here, Reed.
Thanks so much for having me.
Reed is an artist from a... actually, Reed, you tell us.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about yourself?
I am an artist, urban farmer, and bike mechanic living in Seattle, Washington.
Very cool.
You fit the mold of someone who lives in Seattle.
Yeah, typical.
And
you could live in Portland or Vancouver or San Francisco as well, I believe.
Or Vermont.
Or Vermont.
Right.
There you go.
Now,
are you from Vermont by any chance?
Before I biked out here to live, I was living in Vermont in upstate New York.
You biked here from Vermont?
In 2015, I biked out from Vermont with a friend.
That's awesome.
It was pretty rad.
Did you get any? Did you hit any weather?
Do we hit any weather?
Yeah, you must have hit every single. So much weather along the way. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I think we went across the Rockies. I think I hit every single weather combination you can imagine. We actually had 50+ mile an hour gusts in Wyoming, and a school bus picked us up. It's literally a wall of it was a sandstorm from of biblical proportions coming towards us.
Oh, man.
Wow, that's a story.
That is. I never go outside. I only stay indoors and read comics.
I actually had a cousin who biked across Canada, but going the other way, but he did it on an electric bike, so it's only half as impressive, I think.
Still counts.
All right, so should we get started with some comics? Are we going to do a recent and decent today, Larry, or are we going to dive right into the dying and the dead?
No, we're going to talk a little bit about Reed and Reed's.
Of course.
Yeah, so Reed is a fantastic artist. I'm going to, I don't have my Comixology up and running just a second, but Reed is the artist on a book called Dream Crasher. Is this the only project you have going, Reed?
Oh no, we have on our Gumroad site, gumroad.com/stealingfire. I believe we have a smaller zine called Soulless Golem is up. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. And then we'll have some other projects in the mix in the coming years. But without a doubt, Dream Crasher is our flagship.
I love this book. I really, really enjoyed the first issue.
Thanks.
Well, I've enjoyed the first 2 issues, and I haven't gotten to the 3rd issue yet. But what is Dream Crasher? Because the first issue, and we're not gonna do any spoilers on this book because this is a big one that I would be upset if somebody told me what happened. But we definitely want to talk about the art.
Sure. Dream Crasher, I think I think as Daniel described it at our last convention, it has the elements of Lord of the Flies, There's some slight dystopian elements.
You're right up my alley.
Yeah, following a cataclysmic event, the first chapter follows these two children who circumstances force them together, and they have to make some decisions regarding their survival. And then,
all right, that's my favorite genre.
Yeah, this one really is your favorite genre. James, you didn't happen to pick this up, did you?
No, I didn't, but I did look at some of the art.
Oh, this black and white art is just something else.
It's my favorite style, the black and white. So we've read a decent amount of black and white, and I was wondering who's your favorite like black and white artist, or like who do you take more like inspiration from?
I guess
I can list a couple we've read, and you can say like, we read Bullets. Shoot, what was that? We just read it. We read Walking Dead. That had some of the best black and white. We've read. Larry, help me out.
I'm drawing a blank actually on the black and white, but
Bulletproof Coffin, was that black and white?
No, that
Stray
was all.
No.
I was gonna
Stray Bullets. I meant.
I was gonna reference Frank Miller, but I think when you said black and white there, I think really the first person that came to mind was Alfred Hitchcock.
Wow!
In his earlier black and white suspense movies.
I see the inspiration from there. I do see that inspiration because this is Reed didn't say this, but this is a horror book to me. I mean, this has got. There's a monster in this book. I haven't spoiled anything, but there is a monster in this book that is so freaking scary. And Reed draws him. I'm going to dial up a picture of the monster. The monster's called Creature. And,
great name.
And when you see him, sometimes he is just almost like a wisp of air, like a shadowy like figure. But like when you see him full, like he's like a giant, scary creature with very tree-like ugliness. Like, I mean, he's gnarly creature. How did you come up with this?
Do we get like a splash?
Oh yeah, actually, third
or
page.
like a big picture, or is he always kind of like in the distance in the shadows?
No.
I think fourth page, you get his full body.
Yeah, fourth page has got this just amazing like. Just like you see him and like his hands are as big as he looks like a tree to me. He's got some scary stuff happening. And
I feel like black and white really pulls off the creepiness a little bit better than like maybe it's just my favorite style, but the way shadows can be played.
Yeah.
You know all about it.
Yeah, I think it lets the mind create your own fear. And yeah, Daniel and I both joke we did not set out, at least intentionally, to write a horror story, but I think that's part of what happens when you birth your own creation into the universe, is it kind of takes on its own autonomy, and that's certainly what it has become, and that's how people identify with it.
And I feel like the genre kind of lends itself to be kind of that like just because you don't know what's going on and the edges aren't clear in a dystopia, that it can lead itself to that kind of creepier way, even if it is like one of my favorites is The Giver as a dystopian novel, and you wouldn't say that it's scary, but it definitely has kind of an edge to it where it's like, what is on the outside of the parameters of this world, and what are it's. Anyway, I love the genre.
Yeah, this
Fahrenheit 451. That's not necessarily
the simple fear of not knowing shakes you enough and grabs your attention.
Well, this one even goes in the writing further afield, because it actually dives into in the first issue of this might have only touched on a little bit, but the second issue really dives into the dream element of the whole of the book.
Awesome.
There's like a I don't want to give too much away, but there is characters who have dreams and then characters who don't have dreams, and those dreams are so, again, scary. It is a scary book. I'm loving it. And so we have to wait until Reed, are you working on this currently?
Oh yes.
So we're waiting for the 4th issue at the end of this year. Is that correct?
4th issue should be up, if not this month, then in July. Fingers crossed. And
all right.
And then chapter 5 should be available sometime this fall.
What kind of paper do you guys?
So like how long? Oh, good question, Larry.
Go on.
What kind of paper? Because before we got through our Skype mess, Reed and I were talking about it, and he was just telling me about how these copies are available at Fantagraphics. If you've never been to Fantagraphics in Georgetown, do yourself a favor and get there, because it's a great bookstore. And Reed has his books there, and he was just telling me that he has the physical copy in his hand, and then we got cut off. So Reed, what's the printing process like? What kind of paper are you guys on?
I could not be happier with the physical copy. We did a Kickstarter, and we printed in the USA with Kness. I think they're based in Pennsylvania, and it's shorter than a regular comic, but the width is the same, so it fits in a comic sleeve.
Uh-huh.
That's important.
It's a nice heavy weight.
Oh, the heavyweight books are the best.
It's thick but flexible. It's just perfect. I could not be prouder of it. Several people first comments have been that this is top shelf printing. Which
sweet. So I'm one of the big things I'm always curious about is how long it takes the artist to do different things. Like I imagine the first time you're like designing characters is a lot more time consuming, But like, what do you have like different increments of time that different kind of things take you, or like how do you set a schedule for that kind of thing?
I set schedules based, kind of what you were saying is I know at least now how long certain processes will take me. I can come home from work and be at even half capacity and do watercolors or light sketching, but real heavy pencil work, inking, that has to be on my free time, and I have to be at my best for it. And I can usually get through 3 pages in a day. That's a full day.
Okay, that's pretty intensive.
Oh yeah, that's nose to the grindstone. But that's ideal circumstances, and especially as 2 friends working on a relatively unknown indie project, you have to you force the time. Sometimes it's only 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are cross country still, is that correct?
We are cross country. Daniel is based in Brooklyn.
Yeah, so wow, this is intense, man.
So then do you do the storyboarding together, or like how do you figure out like we're going to do, this page is going to be, these kind of panels, or this page is going to be like, how do you split the organization of that kind of stuff and then you fill it in, or what's that process like?
I think Daniel and I have we have an advantage of we've been friends since high school, so we have a very, how do I describe it? There's a lot of trust, and we have a very free-form relationship. Dan writes a script, and I kind of take it from there. There are obviously certain points where I have to add this or that. Mm-hmm. For instance, in chapter 1, I'll never forget the first time I read the script, and I guess spoiler alert, there's a fight scene at the end of the story.
I'm looking at the fight scene.